Today we're going to showcase the top 3 attack strategies at Town Hall 13, including the army composition, the hero equipment, and the clan castle troops you'll need to get 3 stars. The first attack strategy is going to be Yeti Super Archer Spam. This is the strongest ground spam attack strategy because of the scatters at Town Hall 13. Witches aren't as strong, but thankfully Yetis and Super Archers are an amazing combination. Now in terms of this video, you can see my heroes here are not the max level for Town Hall 13. They're all 10 levels below max. I want to show you guys that you can 3-star without maxed heroes. But on top of that, the hero equipment's going to be quite low. We're not going to use any epic equipment to the last attack strategy, and all equipment in this video is going to be level 12. So in terms of the king here, we need the earthquake boots. If you've got the gauntlet or the spiky ball, I'd run that instead of the rage vial if you have it. In terms of the queen here, if you have the frozen arrow and the magic mirror, I'd run both of them. If not, this is a fine combination here. This is what you want for the warden. And then in terms of the royal champion, if you've got the rocket spear or the electro boots, I'd run both of them. But if not, this combination will get the job done. In terms of deploying this army, you want to put 2 ice golems on the flanks, spam your yetis in a line behind it, your heroes and the log launcher in the middle, and then 3 super archers, as you can see here, 3 on each corner, and then the last one down the middle. You have no wall breakers with this army, but you've got 2 jump spells and the earthquake boots, so you should always have enough to get through the entire base. You also have the log launcher as well. With this army, you want to use an early warden ability, as you see I do here, because you want to keep your yetis alive, get that nice healing from the healing tome as well, and just keep using your spells. Rage spells, king abilities, not a spell, but definitely recommend using that around a lot of high HP buildings. The queen's sitting on the back end here. You see I do the double rage through the center because we got to get through the toughest part of this base quite quickly. My ice golem goes down there. It's kind of perfect timing on that. I pop the queen ability. The giant arrow gives extra DPS but does a lot of damage if you can line it up correctly, so I definitely recommend the giant arrow over, say, the archer puppet. And then you can see my royal champion's cleaning up the base. Just use her wherever you can, but particularly if she can support the yetis, because the yetis will tank for her and she'll take down the defenses. She does not do a lot of damage at level 15, quite weak in that respect, but it doesn't really matter. Seeking Shield finishes it off, and this was done in 1 minute and 32 seconds. And because I did it so quickly, I'm actually going to show you a second replay using this army on a completely different base style, so I can prove to you that this attack strategy works on every single base that you can possibly run into. I would describe this as a completely different base. Now, because we're using the log launcher, we have to come in from the far side of the town hall, because otherwise log launcher is not going to get much value. So the 2 ice golems are down, 3 yetis and 3 super archers on each flank, and then the final 4 yetis with all my heroes and the log launcher down the very center. The yetis are excellent at setting a funnel because we do need our king to go inside the base so that we can get the most out of his earthquake boots. In saying that, I'm pretty sure I don't get much out of the earthquake boots here because the log launcher puts in so much work. Look at that. It's going to take down both the scatters. They're already weakening the eagle artillery too. Unfortunately, yeah, look, the king ability doesn't really get much value there, but oh well. Cannot complain about how the start of this attack is gone. And then we're just going to use our jumps and freezes, rages, you name it, to finish the base off. Yetis get to the town hall and they are going to take that down super quickly. Queen's sitting back, not really taking any damage. Now we got the royal champion on the bottom side, and her job's to finish off the base because, look, we're not going to overkill this as much as we did the last base. This base was a little bit tougher, but it still never really felt like I wasn't going to 3-star it. Interesting giant arrow from me there. I mean, it's a bit hectic. It's definitely not as good as the epic hero equipment that you can get with the archer queen, but if you don't have it, it's going to work out fine in the end anyway. I've still got a rage spell here, and that goes completely unused in the end. So, easy 3-star with this attack strategy. Definitely the strongest ground spam attack strategy in the game, taking over from the Zap Witches, which dominated from Town Hall 9 to Town Hall 12. But if you prefer air attack strategies, then this is clearly the best one at Town Hall 13. Zap Dragons is still strong, but there is nothing quite as unstoppable as the Super Archer clone at Town Hall 13, should you know how to use it. In terms of the hero equipment, if you've got the Spiky Ball and the Giant Gauntlet, I'd run both of them over these, but this is a fine combination. This is the best combination for the Queen. Do not run any of the Magic Mirror or the Frozen Arrow. This is by far better. In terms of the Warden, I think the Rage Gem's better than the Healing Tome, but completely up to you. same with the Royal Champion as the King. If you've got the Rocket Spear or the Electro Boots, run both of them. If you haven't got either of them, this will still get you 3 stars. Now, there are 2 methods to doing Super Archer Clone Hydra, and I'm going to show you both of them in this video. The first way is using a Hound and a Blimp by themselves at the start of the attack, completely separate from the Hydra part, to get as much value as possible. So you see, you get the Blimp in here. Now, delay your first Invis a second, because we need those goblins that go first to die. Then we go Invis, double Clone, Rage. That is the correct order for deploying your spells. Make sure you do that. And then we're just going to keep putting our Invis spells down and getting as much value as we can. Always nice to get the Town Hall down. It's not a necessity with this army, but if you don't get the Town Hall down, you do need to get a huge chunk of the base. We also get both the sweepers with this, so I really couldn't have asked for much more. Now I'm going to pull the CC out and deal with it with my Queen, but worth noting, I'm going to put the Queen here any second now. I'm getting ready to move. And then we use the Giant Arrow. So we're going to spawn the healers, because we need them to take down the defensive CC, but we can also use the Giant Arrow to put more damage on the base. I use the Baby Dragon on the bottom side to set a funnel, and now we're going to come across the base with the Hydra. Now, my Queen is in a little trouble because the balloon has come over, but thankfully the Queen gets through the Lava Hound just in time there. Now, you're going to see here we do have the Minion Prince with this version of the army, because we don't really need the King with the Queen. The Queen's on the outside of the base, and she's completely fine. There really isn't a lot to do here. We want that extra damage from the Minion Prince, and also this ability, the is it the Dark Orb ability, is so good with this attack strategy. But as you can see, one downside of this attack strategy is because you do the Hydra and the Super Archer Clone separately, they're not really tanking for each other, so we're allowing the base to do the maximum amount of damage to us. I use the Royal Champion on the bottom side because I want her to clear all of this out, in particular that defensive Minion Prince, so she's going to come up here. I'm going to put the Headhunter down any second. There goes her ability, gets rid of an air defense, which is always nice. Headhunter is a little late here, and yeah, the Royal Champion is going to go down. She is only level 15, so you can't really ask too much of her. She took down a level 50 Minion Prince. No complaints here. But as you can see, we do get the 3-star here. It is a little close. And for me, this version of the army is best against ring bases. In particular, it's really strong against ring bases, but every other base style, particularly where the town hall's close to the edge of the village, it is much weaker than the next version of the army we're going to show you. So worth noting, this version, great versus ring bases because it's much easier to get your Blimp into the center of the base there with the Hound, but on every other base style, the next way is by far superior. Quickly, before a lot happens, very quickly, I want to talk about the changes with this army. So you can see, no Lava Hound. We don't need a Lava Hound with this army at all. And on top of that, no Minion Prince. We're going to use the King because the King and Queen are going to work together on the outside of the base. So let's get into that. So you'll start this attack. I want you to pop the Queen ability immediately. I got rid of sweepers and an air defense, which is awesome value. Then put the King in front of the Queen to tank. We got the 2 baby dragons setting a funnel on the other side from the heroes, and then the dragons. Then, so deploy dragons, then balloons, then dragon riders, then the Blimp is going to come across. Now, obviously, this isn't going to be as strong without the Minion Prince, but because you use the Super Archer Clone and the Hydra together, they do work together super nicely. Now, obviously, you don't want your Super Archers to take any of the damage, but they're going to work together nicely in the sense that the defenses are going to evaporate here. So we get our clone down. Unfortunately, one of the goblins must have been alive, so I do lose a couple of, probably 1 Super Archer Clone's worth. 2 goblins instead, but that's fine because look, the Super Archers just get so much more value because they get further into the base because you're using the Warden ability with them as well. Unfortunately, my healers went to heal the King, but my Queen is somehow still alive. A few of the Super Archers are still alive as well because, well, there was nothing left to take them down after the dragons took the outside of the base, the Super Archers took the inside of the base, and I am not going to use my Royal Champion in this attack, just not going to be required at all. And for me, this one, it is more hectic at the start, and it does require a bit more multitasking, but if you can do it, it is better on most base styles. Like I said, the only base style where I'd recommend using the previous army is on ring bases or with town halls, or essentially a town hall in the center. If it's offset like this one, go this approach and you'll smoke it much quicker. And we're going to finish the video with the toughest army of the 3, but once you learn how to queen charge, there is nothing that can stop you at Town Hall 13, and we're going to come in with queen charge Dragon Rider. Now, it's worth noting, queen charge Lalo, queen charge Hybrid, and queen charge Hogs are all very similar in strength to this. It's just what you prefer to use, but Dragon Rider's probably the easiest to deploy of the lot of them. In terms of the hero equipment here, if you have the Spiky Ball and the Gauntlet, use that, but we're just going to use the king on the outside of the base here. So I do really like the Vamp Stash and Rage Vial for that. You need, and I mean this, you do need the Frozen Arrow. I know we haven't used epic hero equipment in the rest of the video, but you do really need the Frozen Arrow. I'll show you why in a second. Gonna bring the Healing Tome with the Air Warden, and then I would strongly recommend, if you have it, using the Electro Boots. If you don't, you can use the Seeking Shield or the Rocket Spear, but the Electro Boots with this army are insane. What I like about Queen Charge Dragon Rider in comparison to the other Queen Charge armies is you can really Queen Charge absolutely anywhere you want. For instance, in this attack here, I'm going to finish on the Town Hall with the Dragon Riders. That's not something you'd want to do if you're coming in with Hybrid. Definitely not with Hogs. You can do it with Lalo, but it is a little bit risky unless your Royal Champion stays up. Now with the Queen Charge, you always need to deal with the CC with your Queen Charge, and outside of that, you just want to deal with as many heroes or major targets as possible. But you're going to see here, I don't really deal with that many targets. You're also going to see here how imperative the Frozen Arrow is. My queen was on super low health here, and she's just going to keep slowing up every single defense. So we get the Conjoining Wall Breaker there. Going to deal with the CC in a low damage area of the base. And now that we've pulled the CC out, I'm kind of ready to start the second phase of the attack. I use a Rage Spell on the Queen. Keep in mind you got 4 Rage Spells, so that's chill. We got the King with 2 Wizards to set a funnel on the outside of the base, just to make sure the Dragon Riders don't go to the outside, because the King can deal with some defenses. I probably should have run the Earthquake Boots on the King here, though, to help him out. And then we're going to put the Dragon Riders, Royal Champion, Stone Slammer, and a Headhunter into this early Warden ability. You cannot heal up a dead Dragon Rider, so better to use the ability earlier than later. Now, the Sweeper is going to be a pain in this attack. I didn't get much with my Queen Charge, but that's why we have the Royal Champion here coming in with the Dragon Riders too. Going to use a couple of my freezes in the center of the base to keep the Royal Champion up. There goes the Royal Gem ability, giving us all the extra health. And I mean, look at the Royal Champion here, just destroying the center of the base. And because you've got that aura, the skeletons aren't really going to slow her up. Now, I should have used one of my invis spells with the Royal Champion here to keep her alive, but didn't really need her. And I wanted to show you this, because Dragon Riders are really easy to use with the invis spells because they're a ranged unit. So that's why I like bringing 2 invis with this army. And I mean, look, we've completely wrecked this base. There's 3 Dragon Riders still up. My Queen's still up on the top side, and that's why I really liked this replay in comparison to some of the other ones. My Queen Charge didn't get much here, right? The Queen Charge does not need to get much for the Dragon Riders to get the 3-star. Just deal with the CC, take out a chunk of the base, get as much value as you can, and the Dragon Riders, Stone Slammer, and the Royal Champion can easily take down the rest. And that's how you get 3 stars.